on my beliefs, on my core, because I realize that there's an evolution of our understanding. There's an evolution of reality. If that makes sense.
Well, I was going to ask you, are there empirical proofs? Are there objective truths? Let's start.
Yeah, I think there are.
Right. So how does that fit into your dielectric materialism?
Well, I guess see.
The sky always be blue.
This is why there's a clash between hard and soft science in some ways, because and this is not when I say what I'm about to say, it's not hate speech. I'm not attacking anybody, but if we're dealing in soft science, the psychology of the mind can process things in a lot of different ways and feel different things. But if we're dealing in hard science, you're a man or you're a woman anatomically, genetically. Mm-hmm. But you have people who feel as though I may have the hard wiring for a specific gender, but I don't relate to that. Mm-hmm. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
So it's like there's a clash between hard and soft science in some ways.
Well, I think what we clash at is our definitions.
Okay.
And I think a lot of our definitions are being expanded upon. Like, for example, let's talk about, I talked to my friend the other day. Mm-hmm. There was a South African woman, mm-hmm. I remember a few years ago, who was whooping ass in track and field. Mm-hmm. Just tearing people up. She was getting them. But she was a masculine looking woman, very masculine looking woman. So the people was thinking, oh, she must really be a transgender. So they basically violated her. They made her go to the back. They made her go to the back room, and they gave her the whole, thing.
See, that's not cool.
Come find out, she's a woman. So they're like, something must be going on with you. They take her blood. They can do all that stuff. They find out that she has a higher testosterone in her blood. So the question is, so they disqualified her, took all her stuff away, said she's.
But that's not her fault.
It's not her fault. But they said that is an enhancement that other women do not have.
Well, wait a minute. If we're going straight out the gate, I trained. I took my natural functionality and I worked it. I used it.
I 1,000% agree. You would think that's the last you heard of that, and they think about it. Same thing happened in India a few years later. An Indian woman, she was whooping butt in some type of sport again. Mm-hmm. Nobody can get her. She was way packed. They did the same thing. They checked her out, violated. She feels very violated, as well she should. They do the test. They find another.
She's a woman.
She has a lot. She's a woman, but she has the testosterone the same way as the other woman did. So luckily, most scientists who study these type of things are very happy to expand what we call a man and a woman, or what you want to call abnormal to normal, because that's what really we're saying. We're saying that a woman or a man or anybody who has because it wasn't genetic like XXY, the intersex people where they have an extra chromosome. No. This is just basically you have this hormonal imbalance, and that hormonal imbalance worked out better. So the question becomes, one of the scientists said was, well, do you say a man who's 5'8" is discriminated against in like the NBA because most women are 6'5" or something like that? Because one person is taller, you know what I'm saying, is he more of a man or more of a woman? You know, they start to try to say, well, what is considered performance enhancing if it's a natural part of your body type thing.
Wow.
And that's where I like the science about it, is because there's the people who are trying to say that our definitions of man and woman are in fact not complete. Wow. They're not complete. In fact, but that's what you said about dielectric materialism, is that we know, like, and I know this. I know most things, especially in biology, is not complete. We still learning new organs. I think it was a new organ found a few years ago. You know what I'm saying? We still find these different things about it, so we have to be careful about how we use science, because sometimes we use science as a tool for hate. That is the man. That is the woman.
But I would say even beyond that, you had phrenology. Phrenology was used to subjugate a lot of
racial prejudice. They said, oh, we're dumber because of the way our brain made. They made it sound so smart. Oh yeah, if you do this, do that. But before somebody says that shows how bad science is, let's recognize
that was a bad science. That was pseudoscience.
So let's recognize that scientists are people who broke out of that. In almost any conspiracy of bad parts of science has self-corrected itself.
Yeah, and that, you know, that has been a reoccurring theme in my studies that I see. Science is self-correcting.
It is self-correcting. It makes sure and I told you the last time, I said it's all dependent upon the models you use to explain some phenomenon. And once it goes beyond the scope of your model, then you must use another model to explain it. It doesn't make your science wrong. It just makes the model you're using ineffective, not effective for the things you're trying to study, basically. So we have to be very careful about how we look at certain things.
So you know, you and I, we can go from here to Jerusalem.
To Mars, yeah.
to Mars. I want to keep this more narrow in closing. In context of the black community, moving forward, can we make parallels with science and social justice?
Yes.
How so?
Okay, science is pursuit of knowledge. It's how there's methods, in fact, the methods you use to gain some truth.
Okay.
It's going to be the same way when it comes to social justice. We need our methods. We need our tactics to be able to get what we need, which is change, right? So
right.
We need change. We need methods.
Progressive change, right?
To get us change, right?
Right.
Now I'm pretty radical when it comes to what I believe is possible here in America. I personally don't think that America is going to give us what we need, ever.
Okay.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to have to build that separately, meaning we need to either separate ourselves into our own communities and work from within, or all out lead the whole country as a mass exodus. My boy Garvey. His birthday today. Yes.
Marcus Garvey today.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Marcus Garvey.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say Elijah Muhammad said something very similar. He didn't say as far as leaving, but he really preached separation, and he wanted to build like a new Africa, which would be pretty much all the southern states.
Right. No, but that's what was going to be necessary. And what we need to do, for example, because I was talking to him earlier without the camera, is I believe we're in a reactionary state of being the black community, where every other week there's something that social media pushes out to get your opinion, and we react upon it without digesting feelings, without doing our due diligence and research, and we just spout out whatever comes about. Whatever comes up comes out.
Right.
And I think we got to stop that. I think we're going to need to start looking at certain issues, any issue that we have from a scientific point of view. You have what I'm looking at, hypothesize why it's that way, test to see why, whatever the case may be, test to see if we do this difference, or if the difference already been tested, to change that so we can see if we can get a better change, and that's to believe that. Because in our community, far too often you have the new people come in and they have their own mind, but they don't never listen to the old greats. The old greats has had hundreds of years of scrutiny through our greatest minds to figure out what they've done good and bad. But most of our people don't want to do the work necessary to get there.
Back the layers.
Yeah, once we get there, then we can actually make smarter tactics, smarter strategies.
I remember reading something that said a master has failed more than a novice has tried.
Never tried. Like, you have some people here who will look at hidden colors and they believe they are history. No, they know all things about history, black history. And I think that's a problem. Most of these things that we look at, documentaries and things like that, only are introductory. It's to get you to know that you don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then the next step, and that's what I tell a lot of people, I say, then you have to look at your sources.
Yeah, you got to vet your sources.
And I tell a lot of people, you're different between primary sources and secondary sources. And a lot of the cases when it comes to us and the way that we do history, science, or whatever you want to call it, we never are the primary source. And that's what I'm trying to build. That's why he's becoming a nurse. He's going to become a primary source of medical information. And that's what we're looking for, is to become primary sources of knowledge. And if we're not primary sources, then we're going to have to say, according to X, Y, and Z in their studies, this is what they came across.
So we're still on the periphery.
Yeah, because far too often we say, oh, bread is bad. And, it's like, well, according to who? According to you? Like, what have you done to say these things are bad? We don't preface ourselves with viable information that has been used and tried again to come to these conclusions.
Gotcha.
We automatically say, oh, X, Y, and Z is this. Well, I want to read more about it, because we know you're not a pharmacologist, so we know you're going to have nuances that you don't know about. So send me to the person who does it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do that often enough, I think.
So in closing, what do you want to leave us with?
I think in closing, my biggest thing, I don't know if I said this last time either, I can't remember. But my biggest closing has always has been fundamentals. We speak way too much about things we don't know about.
Don't know.
Back in the day, We used to say, don't believe half of what you
believe half of what you see and none of what you hear, or something like that.
Some sense of that. But we got to the culture, meme culture, to where almost anything that comes across our screen, we automatically either believe it or we have some type of reactionary, emotional connection to it. I think we need to end that. And one way to end that, for example, is we have to really look into ourselves and really see what we are ignorant of. And most of the things that I believe, for me, I'm always from a scientific point of view, is we don't have our basics when it comes to any science. We don't have the fun. I was there in school. Nobody listens in biology class and chemistry class. They do enough so they can remember what they need for the test. They couldn't tell you right now anything about the elements or how what's the alkaline metal and noble gas transition. They don't know nothing about chemistry. We talk about biology. Nobody knows what an organelle is and what proteins or a cell. A sodium ion pump. We can go deep into these things. And because we don't have these fundamentals, a lot of people then would speak upon things they know nothing about. Like and that's called misinformation. You know what I'm saying?
So, in closing, you'll be back.
Yeah,
we'll have more. Step your knowledge game up. Question everything. Be intellectually curious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a rapper too. So, when you get a chance, check out that Social Distancing Lights on Toilet Paper mixtape. It's coming soon. The current single is Lights on Toilet Paper. I'll put the link to that video in the description. Always a pleasure. Oh, wait, we got the new normal.
New normal.
All right. Signing out from the Dogon. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel 82 Kings. I'll put your social media information in the description box.
_Tahuti. So
for sure.
But
you woke Tahuti. I know Tahuti.
Emotel, all that good stuff. Way back. I've been doing this forever. You know what I'm saying? So I've evolved myself to get to here. So.
Signing out from the Dogon. It's the homie Mac. Peace and love. We out.